Hi, this is Bruce Colbert, and I'm live from the BPT seminar here in Silicon Valley at SAP's Executive Education Facility. And I'm with Chris Morace, who is the SVP of Business Development and Product Development at Jive Software. Chris, welcome.
Thanks, Bruce.
Chris, I just had a couple questions for you. I know you've got to get back into the seminar, but if you could just share with us your thoughts on a couple of questions. So, during the seminar and a lot of conversations, we hear a lot about examples of business to consumer. What's going on in the B2B space?
Great question. So it's interesting. B2C obviously was the thing everyone wanted to talk about early on because it was out there, you could see it happening, and it made a lot of sense to people. But the thing we've seen behind the scenes, B2B is actually where a lot of customers and companies are getting the most value. I think they are finding that all along, being able to get closer to your customer as a company is an important thing. And so we see our customers basically building presences and places to engage, both for customer service, for direct feedback from partners. They're basically taking their whole value chain and just giving them a place to communicate in real time. It's not as glitzy, there's not as much sort of like branding and theming and all these things you see in the consumer space, but it's all about having real conversations and kind of shortening the loop between what a customer needs and what a company can deliver.
So you see the return on investment for B2B is high as well, correct?
Extremely high. I mean, we're here at SAP. SAP is one of our, I think, casebook studies in terms of they've got 2,000 partners and customers all on a platform, and they use it for everything. They use it for new ideas and innovation. They use it for educating folks on the things they're doing. They use it to answer questions. They basically do everything you used to have to do in person at great expense and infrequent sort of timescales. It's just ongoing all the time, and they're seeing their ability to get closer to what their market needs has dramatically improved.
Great. Chris, there was a lot of talk during the seminar about the customer data model changing, right? And so, this whole business about identity resolution and who am I really talking to and how is that meaningful to me, and, are they a customer or not? Is this a critical issue in SCRM, and how does this get resolved, and how does it get resolved in a scalable way?
Yeah, so I think that's you really hit on the state of the debate, I think, in the space in general. There's a big thread that started when Google Plus came out, and their choice to use real names as opposed to allowing people to use different identities, which I think has for a while been sort of the convention in a lot of these social presences. You could just make up any name you want, any avatar, you could hide behind it. But you see a lot of folks realizing there's a lot of value in really knowing who a person is, and there's a certain war happening around a lot of people wanting to own that identity. I take a slightly different stance that I think ownership of the identity, at least for companies trying to engage with their customers, is a little less important for any one vendor than having a strategy that lets you just know who you're dealing with, whether they're on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or Jive or who they are. You need to know who they are in your CRM system so that you can have the same experience with them and give them a really consistent experience with the company. And so I think there's a lot to do there. I don't think a lot of progress has been made in terms of how we help companies associate these identities, but I see some positive movement starting to happen.
With all that data out there, how do you do that in a scalable way? I mean, that seems to be a huge challenge.
Yeah, the big buzzword these days is big data, right? And it's been pioneered in the consumer space, but it's entered into the enterprise space. Jive's invested really heavily there. I know a lot of other folks are too. The technology's there to be able to process this at scale. The challenge is it's starting to hit that sort of a contention point of enterprises who want to own all that themselves, but that sort of architecture at scale is not something most companies are prepared to handle. So I think we're going to see more folks realizing the value of getting that real-time analytic outweighs the need to have all that architecture and expertise inside your company. Yep. And so I think that's going to be a huge movement over the next couple of years.
So are you also suggesting that perhaps a company needs to work with third parties and aggregators to bring this information together? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and in fact they already are. And so you'll see in our space, like we acquired a couple of years ago a company called Filterbox. The whole thing they do is aggregate everything that happens in the social web and on the internet into a place where you can deal with it in real time. We acquired a company called Proximal Labs that's all around doing that kind of adaptive intelligence at big data scale. There's other companies in the space acquiring the same type of expertise, and it all trends towards the things that our customers need are that ability to know everything that happens in real time, be able to respond to it, be able to know who that person is, and that really does take something that's quite massive.
Terrific. Chris, I really thank you for the few moments here, and look forward to interacting with you back in the seminar.
Absolutely.
Thanks a bunch. Appreciate it.